Good morning everyone, my name is Michelle. I hope you're doing well. Welcome to another video. It is Saturday morning the 25th of January. So we're talking about the Delphi case today. I'm going to do the experiment I planned to do yesterday. I mentioned in my live stream, if you saw that. If you didn't, go and watch it, all about Ron Logan. Ron Logan is back in the news because of the explosive motion to correct errors that Rick Allen's defence team released a few days ago. Now the storm has passed, let's get out in the woods and do my experiment. I've got an iPhone 6S and Libby had an iPhone 6S. This is all about Libby's phone data. How quickly does the Apple Health app, the version that was on the iPhone 6S, record flights climbed and distance travelled and steps? We're focusing on flights climbed, but we're also going to take into account steps as well. I'll explain more when the results are in. Take it away, Andy.
It's time for you guys to start being journalists.
Before an angry Andrew Baldwin left the courthouse, 13 News overheard him speaking to Richard Allen's wife, saying, "It ain't over. The world's watching. The world sees what's going on."
Alright, here I am coming up to the woods. This is an iPhone 6S. This is the same model that Libby had. This is the Apple Health app. And just to show you that today, it's raining hard now. And this is just to show you that today, we've got no steps at the moment. I'm going to go down the hill, down there. Alright, let's go. You'll notice that only Cassie's here. Tilly and Noodle did come out, but neither of them had their listening ears on this morning, so I took them home. That's today. No floors climbed. Now I know that this set of steps here records flights because of the last experiment that I did, and also this hill up here, walking up this hill, also records flights. And I want to know how quickly it adds that flight on for a reason. Alright, we'll do the hill first. Alright. This is higher than 10 feet, so it should record a flight. So today, no flights climbed. Right, so we're going to climb up this hill. I'm going to see how quickly this records a flight. So we're on the flat bit. It's not recorded that yet. So I'm watching my clock on my phone to see how long it takes. If at all. Sometimes it doesn't record a flight even if you know you've gone up a hill. So now on 30 seconds.
A few moments later.
Do we have to go out of it and come back in? So it's still not recorded a flight. So has it not recorded a flight, even though we're 2 minutes in, because that's not high enough? Well, I know it recorded flights last time we did an experiment. We'll go to the steps. We'll go down to the bottom of the steps and see whether that records any. We're still on 0 flights climbed. That should definitely record a flight. That's like over 10 feet high. So one flight is approximately 10 feet. If you climb up, 10 feet, but it's only a very shallow gradient, it doesn't record it. Not to my understanding and experience, anyway. Alright, go down here. So we're still on 0 flights climbed. We're actually over 2 minutes since I last climbed that hill. But I will go out and come back in, just in case. Oh, there we go. It's popped up. So it did record it. So I would say it took it like 2 minutes. But we'll do it again on this flight of steps. So we've got 1 flight climbed for that hill. Oh yeah. This way. All right. And we'll keep going out and coming back in to try to get a more accurate. I'm not going to obviously get to the second. So 1 flight climb today. Let's climb this one. Okay. All right. So still 1 flight. We'll go completely out of it. So I'm clocking the time on my phone that's recording this. Almost 30 seconds. Right, we'll go out completely. Come back in. Still on 1 floor. So there does seem to be a delay. What's mindfulness? Quiet your mind. Sleep. Set a bedtime. Still on 1 floor. So we're now over a minute. We'll go completely out. Whoa! Okay. Oh, there you go. We'll do it 1 more time. Maybe for it to record, you have to go out of the app completely. Look at steps. See, that's today. It's giving me 354 steps. All right, let's walk. Let's go out of the app completely. Let's walk down here. So it should record some steps. Alright. Oops, not YouTube. I'm not used to opening YouTube. Alright, it's still only recorded 354 steps, so it does seem that there's a delay, somewhat of a delay, on steps as well. Clock the time, 9:13. Why are you filthy? Where's you been? She's a good girl, don't climb on me. She's a good girl. So 9:14. Still on 354 steps. Still on 3 floors. Go at the app again. So we're now like a minute. Still on 3 floors. And 354 steps. Now like 2 minutes. Wow. Turn it off and turn it back on again. I think it's given up on me. Wow. Alright, we'll do this again.
One eternity later.
Oh look. It's added my steps on. 606 steps. We're still on 3 floors climbed. Alright, we're going to go back up here. Hello, you're filthy. See the gorge. There's the phone, there he is! There he is, good girl. There he is, good girl. There's the phone. There he is. Oh, look. 4 floors. But is that from this? Or is that from before? And it's delayed it. But we're still on 606 steps. Alright, so we're going to leave it a couple of minutes. We'll play a game of Find the Phone. If she's not looking. She's looking. Just pretend you're not doing anything. And I'm going to pop this phone down somewhere. She's proper vigilant. She watches me all the time. She knows when I'm up to things. She knows me too well. I'm getting distracted by a squirrel or something. Cassie, find the phone. Find the phone. There he is, good girl. Good girl. Good girl. There he is. Good girl, there he is. Alright. Let's deal with the matter at hand here. So we're still on 4 floors. So that was the previous. How long will it take to put these on? So it is delayed. It's sometimes delayed by like 2 minutes, 3 minutes. There's a reason I'm doing this, and I'm going to tell you for why shortly. Right, look at the time. 9:25. And it says we've only climbed 4 floors. And it never records downhills, by the way. It's flights ascended. Flights climbed. It never ever records downhills. Got an iPhone, test all this yourself. If you're fit and able enough to go up and down hills and steps, do it. If you've got stairs in your house, do it in your house. Like my stairs, there's like 13 stairs to go upstairs. And sometimes it records flights, sometimes it doesn't. It's weird. So I think it's pretty unreliable, honestly. It just gives you a general guide. I think it underestimates rather than overestimates. That's just my experience. Okay, we're on now on 9:27. Look at that. Look at how delayed this is. That's insane. We're going to go home now. And we'll see what it's recorded by the time I get home.
2,000 years later.
Alright, so we're now at home. Still 4 floors climbed, but it's added steps. 1, 7, 2, 3. I'm going to compare that with my iPhone 12. You're being recorded on it, so I'm just going to have to take a screenshot of what it looks like. Interesting. Very interesting. It's recorded the same number of floors, but it's recorded way more steps. So the iPhone 6S has underestimated the amount I've walked. Or the iPhone 12 has overestimated how much I've walked. We got more questions than answers here, don't we? But why have I done this experiment in the first place? Well, let me tell you for why. If you remember from Rick Allen's trial, Libby's phone movements based on the Apple Health app on her iPhone 6S were used by the state to quote-unquote prove its theory against Rick Allen. And these were the phone movements. So between 1:31 and 2:08, Libby's phone walked around 700 metres, which takes you partway across Mourning High Bridge, starting at the Mears Farm entrance of the Mourning High Bridge Trail. Then, between 2:08 and 2:25, it records 414 metres. It then stops for 7 minutes, and that's when the state said Rick Allen was on the south side of the bridge about to essay the girls. So they were stationary for 7 minutes. Then, between 2:25 and 2:31, the phone recorded a further 50 metres, or just 68 steps. And then, between 2:31 and 2:32, the phone registers 2 floors climbed, which is approximately 20 feet. Now we have the confession that Ron Logan made in May of 2017, just 2 months after the murders, to fellow inmate Reese Davis. We've heard from Ron Logan via Reese Davis, and I do believe Reese Davis was telling the truth as he heard it, because how would Reese Davis know some of the details that we know now to be factual? In fact, how did Ron Logan know the details that we now know to be factual? The box cutter thing hadn't come out until the trial. Ron Logan said he walked with the girls. He asked them if they wanted to go and see some animals, like his horses and some rabbits in his barn. Abby wanted to because she likes animals. Libby, however, got paranoid and got nervous. A fight ensued because Ron ended up getting a bloody nose, so Libby hit him, good on her. But then he took out his box cutter and slit her throat. We don't know what happened to Abby, because he said he took the little girl, Abby, with him. So when did she die? She could have died hours later. But presumably, Libby was killed at 2:32 because that's when her phone stopped moving. So what I've been trying to do is try to work out how this timeline fits with this new information. Does this phone data make sense in relation to what we know, assuming that Ron Logan was the guy? And I've not been able to reconcile this element of it. We know that this is quite accurate. Don't know about this, but I think this is inaccurate. I think this is an underestimation. And my iPhone 6S seems to kind of play out that there's an underestimation, because 50 metres and just 68 steps, I think for some reason there's been an underestimation there. Is the time when there was no movement on the phone, when there was like an argument, it was like they didn't want to go any further, and maybe then Libby starts to walk away, and that's when Ron Logan attacks her. But what I've not been able to reconcile is why If that's the point when Libby's attacked, her phone, which doesn't move after 2:32, climbs 2 flights. Because if they were heading up towards Ron Logan's going up the hill, it would be recording flights. So I wanted to go and do an experiment to see how much of a delay there might be. And it could actually be that when the phone stopped, it underestimated the amount of steps that had been taken, and there was a delay on the floors. And maybe there was more floors climbed than what it's recorded. That seems to be what's played out today with my iPhone 6S. That there's been a delay on it adding flights climbed, and it's been underestimating the amount of steps I've taken. Why? I don't know. Not on a very accurate app, obviously. But is that delay just on what it shows the user? In its, inner workings, when a Celebrite extraction's made, would that give the actual time that those flights were climbed, or does it show on the Celebrite extraction as it shows the user? If it's as it shows the user, then perhaps this is an underestimation and it didn't add some steps in or distance in, and this happened 2 or 3 minutes earlier. Even longer, perhaps. Because if Ron Logan's confession is true, this had to have happened before the fight. This had to have happened kind of like here. And then this is where the fight happens. And then Libby drops the phone at 2:32 and it doesn't move again. I don't know. I've got more questions than answers. Let's try and work this out together. Let me know what you think in the comments, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye, guys. Find the phone. It's right there. Good girl. Good girl. There he is. Don't paw him. You don't meant to paw him. Good girl. There he is.